Let's see the quick demo of clean architecture and vertical slice architecture in .NET 10. So here my application is running. So there is a papercut as a where the maintaining our email and all. So this is our database SQL Server, and this is our web API application. So let me open this web API application, and once over here, so there is a couple of endpoints over here. So let me just try to get that data, all the data from here. So let me send it. So once you send it, now see all the data is coming from here, this endpoints, and this endpoint, this API actually totally using in our clean architecture. So all the data is coming flow of that clean architecture. And yeah, so similar what I'll do, same things I just want to show you, like if I want to add, update, delete something, so there is a also managing our email. So once ever we are trying to update our any contribution, so the mail server will trigger and get that invoice and what you have done, right? So for that, actually what I'll do, I'll just do that in our here, like using our API HTTP client, right? So for here, simply I can just get on whatever the data we have. So right now we have this 10 contribution, and if I want to get the data first one, so I can just get the data first one also. So now this is another endpoint, get by specific contributor, and then now this is one where I can just create a new contributor. So once you create, now see I'm just able to create a new endpoint, new contributor with this ID 30. And yeah, so same 30, if I just try to update, so then mail notification will be trigger and it will track actually what you have done. So if I just send back, so now see mail actually they are updated. And so once you update it, now if you go back to mail trigger, so let me just mail trigger refresh. So see, this is a papercut mail as a SMTP. So here what we have contribute 30 name update, and whatever you update, you are able to see all these things, all that information over here. So this is the header, this is the section, and also if you want to save, download, so you can just download as well. So yeah, this is actually using this clean architecture, which will show you how we can easily build it. And same things, actually we have also vertical slice architecture. So let me just open that now. This is that vertical slice architecture. So same things over here also, like we have SQL Server database and also web API, and also that papercut for mail management system, right? So also over here, so you can just open it over here. But yeah, instead of using that scalar UI, so I'll just go with that application and use this HTTP client. And in here, simply if I just send back, so now see whatever send, so this is returning all that products. So because this minimal API, or we can say this vertical slice, actually we have the different endpoints, right? So let me just send back to get by ID. So also we are get by ID. If I want to create a new request of this card, so let me just create a new request. Yeah, so just card ID just got created, and same ID I can just replace it for existing one. And once you're done, now once I create the card, so I can send that add a new card or existing card. So now see, I'm just creating another card over here. And yeah, now if I want to view card, so also I can just send that view card, whatever that card actually we just created, the particular item. And then if I want to just check out, so simply I can just, for the checkout is required that card item, right? So simply I can just check out. So see, I just check out, and once I check out, I just get this one, right? So you can just use this your order ID, and once you just use this order ID in your here, yeah, so in this here, so then next endpoint you can just confirm your order over here. So like this way actually you can just use it. And yeah, both are that and one is the clean architecture, one is the vertical slice architecture. So easily we can build it. So let moving to start to implementation. So before I start to implementation, I'm especially recommend if you first time visit my channel, which is .NET real world example. And in here, if you search over here in a clean, so I just made a there's a session and a couple of session which a clean architecture which I just built from scratch, like starting to end, and there's a couple of sessions, so you can just go through that if you first time. And otherwise also this session also good for you because it is also for that is starting perspective. And also there's a couple of session I just built for clean architecture, how we can build the clean architecture in our web application, web API, or Blazor applications, like complete actually end-to-end flow I just built it. So you can go through those, are that is my recommendations. So yeah, let's moving to implementations. So first of all, what I need to do, I can just simply open a command prompt over here. So yeah, let me just use a command prompt and just close everything a little big so that you can easily see it clearly. Okay, so over here actually there is a template which is available, okay, which is a one of the templates. So like that, see, Delia's Clean Architecture template. So this is the one template which is just upgrade in .NET 10. So which will use our .NET Aspire along with, right? So let me just install this first. So once you install, now see, it just install template 11, which is using .NET 10. Okay, so now once you add this template, you are able to see the short name of this template is clean architecture, and also the template name is sp.net clean architecture, right? So ideally you can just simply create over here .NET new and then using that name and output, and you can directly create your project over here, right? But I have already Visual Studio, so once you install this template, you are able to see the template available over here as well. So go to that, create a new project, and in this here you can just search for clean architecture. Now see, this is that one. Okay, so clean architecture also ensure this name because the template name is Ardalis, right? Ardalis, whatever, I don't know, but pronunciation might be wrong, but yeah, this Ardalis, and this is that template. Okay, so you can just choose it this, next, and whatever name you want. So I just make it a clean architecture. Okay, and yeah, I think that pretty much good, nothing you have to change it over here, so simply just create it. Now once your template template got created, you can able to see look like this. So if you scroll down, collapse all that project, so you are able to see this much project is available. So what are these actually? So see, this is the main project which is Aspire host, which build all that orchestrate your application, like your whatever dependency, like web application and database and also which will orchestrate over here. But main things over here, see, that core layer, there's a core layer, there's an infrastructure layer, and there is a use cases, right? And yeah, so these are actually main clean architecture concept. So here that core concept, right, there's a core layer, and also the infrastructure where you just implement your implementations so that nobody need to change in your core layer, right? So that's why we have that infrastructure layer, and also that use cases, whatever the use cases based on this, you can just write your use cases, and that use cases we can using in your application. So like this way actually this work, right? So those all this layer actually dependent in this web applications, right? And then web application also extract in our hosting project, and that's it. So let me run. So before run actually I'll just show you one thing. So if you go to that hosting project over here, so how we are trying to run this application, right? So it is very simple. So if you know that Aspire architecture in previously, so definitely we'll get some idea. But yeah, this is the way we can just orchestrate your whatever database, and then add the database, right? And then add the database, whatever database dependency, you can just use your which project you want to use, so you can just use it over here. Same things, like I'm just exposing this mail SMPT server, right, which is using the papercut, and that papercut also we just launching over here, and then also we we just depend on this one to our web application, web API application, right? So this is a pretty much simple architecture, right? And if I run, so before run actually you have to, so see, as like we are using that add container and all, right? And so whatever, server and all, we are using a container, so you have to install docker. So make sure your docker is installed properly, and then you can just run it. So once you run it, so once you doing first time, so it will take little time, but yeah, meanwhile you can just check that console log and see whatever, try to create a container and all, it will just create a container and it will run it, that particular host. Same things for SQL server as well. Go to that console log and see it just create a container and all, and just running inside this container. So yeah, once you're done, now see your application, web, uh, SQL server and SMTP server, everything is running, and also your application is running on web API. So once you run this scalar UI, so see all that endpoint is available, and if you just get that list, so you can just get that all the list over here, whatever contributions, and if you want to add, and also you can just add it. So add and update, delete, whatever things. So let me try to add an all. So if you go back to your web application, go to that app.http. So over here, see there's a request, all the request already made it, like whatever over here, right, whatever endpoint. So simply if I just send the contributor, so whatever contributor we have, all the contributor I can see it. Then if I want to specific contributor, so I can get that specific contributor, and then if I want to add a new contributor, so I can add it, not 28 number of contributor. And then if I want to update, so I can just simply update is 3 or 28, whatever you can just update. So simply I can just update it. Yeah, it just updated. So once you update it, so you will check like is it notified or not. So if you want to see the notified, so open it over here. Now see, this is notified. Okay, ID number 3, like of the contributor ID number 3 is got updated, right? So yeah, like same way, if you want to delete, so you can just delete it. So okay, now I think some issue on this delete part, but yeah, we can keep it as well. So yeah, that I observe actually. So this is some issue, might be somehow actually we are not getting that proper contribute ID, so that's why it's trying to get the issue. But yeah, this is fine. So how actually it's working, right? So see over here, if you observe their contributor, in this contributor, if you see over here the get list, right? So where is the get list? Yes, so here the get list. So in this get list directly we are using a MediatR, right? In this MediatR, you can see I can just create a MediatR, and in this MediatR we just calling your contribution query. So in this query, so right click on that, if you go to this implementation, so now see we are using this use cases contributor list, and we are just getting over there, and this is a list query, and same things we can use see contributor DTO and just convert it over here and get back the details, right? If you see over here in this contributor list, so you are able to see over here contributors in this contributors. So this is the list, and this is a list query, and then after that also this handling query. So on here, see if you see over here this query, right? So we are using handle async. So here we are using a query, and which is coming from the list contributor query service, right? So if you go to inside this here, see in this list section I can see ilist contributor over here, and this ilist contributor also we are using, like over here, see we have also in this infrastructure layer, right? So in the infrastructure layer we have that implementation. So go to here. So now we are just consuming, or we are just implement over here using that whatever our current DB, and that we are returning the data. So this is that complete flow actually, like your clean architecture, like using your uh, contributor, like using this, then use cases, and in the use cases also use that infrastructure layer and all, the which is that implementation part, right? So yeah, I think this is pretty much good for the clean architecture, right? And yeah, you can just start, and definitely if you want to add new endpoint, so you can just simply add a new endpoint over here as like this contributor. So add a new contributor or new like product list or something like that, and then implement as like this. Okay, and then also whatever like as like we just call list for this use cases, right? So go to that use cases, and then use cases also just implement whatever things. So yeah, I think that you can just implement and learn it more and more. So if you have any query and all, so just let me know. I'll just, if you record, so I can add a new endpoint, and I can show you how actually follow this current one. Okay, so but yeah, that's all for this. But yeah, I'll okay, so one more template is available, right? So that is a particular slide template. So let me do that also. So let me stop this, open it again in our terminal, and simply use this template, similar but only change for minimal clean template. Okay, and just simply hit enter. And so once you hit enter, now see it is just installed, and the name is again short name is min clean. Okay, and now I can just, if I just open Visual Studio, I am able to see that template. So create a new project and just search for clean. Yeah, so if you search for clean, so see this is the one is the clean architecture, one is that sp.minimal architecture, right? So we have to use this one next, and just use that minimal architecture. Yeah, I think that pretty much good. Create that. Okay, so now it's got created, and also same things over here, but it is just vertical slice architecture. Now see there is a no many layer over here. It's just simple web API, and in this web API itself has all this layer, right? So as like we have the infrastructure, we have the domain, we have that extension, and we have that features, right? So this is similar as like use case, and then your infrastructure, and then your domain and all, right? So it just call is vertical slice architecture. So everything is over here based on this your features. So if you're using as like see same things over here, like if you're trying to use any list, right? So this is the list endpoint and list product endpoint, and it will call your uh, particular query, like this is mediator. Yeah, so this is this query, right? So if you scroll down, yeah, so it is just using handler itself over here, and you can see the list query. So go to that implementation, you will able to see that handler is over here, right? And handler also using this ilist project query, and this ilist project query using over here itself ilist project query service over here, right? And same things it will implement in your infrastructure layer in here, right? So as like see this is that implementation part. So this is that infrastructure layer, and it will just returning the back. So let me run it and see uh, it is working or not. So yeah, it's try to run, and again the mail server is over here, and then SQL server, and then web API. Okay, finally it's running properly, and if you just go to that scalar UI interface, so it will just try to run. Meanwhile we can go with our here. Yeah, so we can use this HTTP client, right? And if I just send the request, I'm able to see all the data. This is that product list, so all that product list, same things. If I just get the data, and if I just add a card, so I can just add a card also. So now see new card is got created for this particular product, and this card also I can just use on the top, so that I can use for this card each request, and then whatever the card, if it is existing, so yeah, it is existing or not, so yeah, add another things existing card. And then finally we can see the view card. So this is the view card, the same card over here. And if I want to check out this particular email, like I want to check out, right? So yeah, also it is record this card, so you can just simple, so yeah, the checkout and this order is placed, right? So this order actually got placed over here, and I can just use this, that's it. Okay, and then further order tracking and all, you can just check it over here. So yeah, I think this is pretty much good over here, right? And yeah, so that's all for this session, right? Now you can get an idea like how vertical slice or clean architecture, easily you can just create it without any from that scratch, like okay, one by one, like project structure, and also you will get that default template, and you can just create easily, and you can just start your implementation itself over here. So that's all for this session. Thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.